Okay, POV iPad workflow video. Just came inside from a walk, and I'm going to showcase how I basically get everything onto my iPad when I come in from a walk. I was out for just an hour, probably. Not a very long walk at all. Didn't take that many pictures, but I think nonetheless, it's important for me to always stay on top of the photos. I think that the old ways that I worked, where I would import after a month or 2 months or whatever, was probably not the right move. I think that being on top of the archive and really, picking up the pace is better. So that's what I do. I'm importing directly into a folder that I create on my iPad like so. Everything imports at a speed that's really quick, 128 pics, 515 megabytes. So it's half a gigabyte for that session. I'll then delete them off the SD reader that connects via USB-C. Yeah, I'll put the SD back in my Ricoh GRIIIX, take the battery out, and put it in a charger by Ricoh. Yeah, so I keep that there. I'm currently trying to remove all of the photos from my iPhone so that I can use this as a way to import photos and videos as well. So I'm using a SanDisk here for the first time. This is a 2 terabyte hard drive. Yeah, interesting SSD. So yeah, here are the 123 photos that I made today on my stroll. So I usually look at the photos via thumbnail. I don't really see a point in really analyzing the work that much. I kind of just look at the thumbnail, point, click, and favorite. It's a very simple process when you photograph using the small JPEGs and high contrast black and white because of this sort of workflow, I think. Yeah, it allows you to sort of either you get the picture or you don't get the picture, and you can clearly see in the thumbnails which ones have some sort of content or person inside. I think it's interesting to look at the work in a small thumbnail and just move on. I think it's really important to be fast with the editing process, and when I'm going through the work now in this manner, I feel that, yeah, I feel that I can sort of, just work in a much faster pace, and making these decisions, it shouldn't be rocket science, right? These aren't that precious, right? These are photos that I import onto my iPad and look at afterwards. I just take whatever I can get from my short stroll, and yeah, I was using the macro mode here. It's kind of beautiful. I have the macro mode enabled for these pictures. It's quite nice, actually. Making a photo of a flower outside of the Comcast Center. I'm interested in the textures of things, and using macro mode allows you to highlight that, so not bad. There is that beautiful light, that reflected light. Okay. And that brings me back to where I started. I then go to my favorites and I select all of the photos that I just favorited. I make a decision between these two. Do I like the cone? No. So we unfavorite this one. And yeah, I just select the ones I favorited, basically. And add them to an April 2023 selection folder. So I have photos from yesterday and today that I favorited in this current folder, which has 32 shots now. And then at the end of the month, I'll basically cull down and pick a picture that I like the most. So far from today, I like this picture the most, probably. I see the man looking back towards me, buildings in the background, vertical composition. But what I tried to do was frame the birds in the bottom. So this bird is in flight, and there's a scattered clump of birds there. yeah, that's the shot of the day probably so far, but I'm just getting started and we'll go back out